Hi my lovelies, welcome back to my channel, and for everybody who is new, I'm Leorah and I'm so glad you found me. So welcome to today's video where we are going to in-depth talk about this one. This is the In the Dark collection from Alien Cosmetics, of course now known as Unearthly Cosmetics. This is part of the winter collection or the winter release of 2021, and of course at the same time that this launched, also the Smells Like Holiday Spirit collection launched, and you've seen that here on my channel already. I have a review up for that one as well. The Smells Like Holiday Spirit collection I received in PR from Alien Cosmetics / Unearthly Cosmetics. This one I received as a gift from one of my besties, and I'm so grateful because seriously I could not decide. I could not decide. Like, how do I decide between two such beautiful but completely different collections? What do I want more? I just can't. That's why I have 7 children. I can't decide. So yeah, okay, sweeties, here, this is how it comes. Of course, these are just empty packaging because I have the products right here in front of me. I'm going to show you in just a second. So you do have, of course, the eyeshadow palette, you do have a highlighter, and you do have a lip gloss. This is how you receive it. All right, so this is what it is. And of course, we are going to talk about everything. This is the palette, of course, super grungy and like really cool. And then you do have a highlighter, which is green. I'm wearing that in my inner corner, but I'm going to talk, of course, in the review part about that. And then also the lippy that I'm wearing is this one here. Okay, sweetie, if you just found me, I'm Leorah. I'm a makeup artist and stylist. I'm living for colorful makeup and colorful styling, so feel free to check out my channel and of course my social media, which is linked for your convenience in the description box down below. So get to know me a little bit and subscribe to my channel because I would love to have you here. Beyond that, today we are going to, of course, talk about something while I'm doing my makeup. And today I'm going to talk about what you actually need to start a channel, because that has been a question I've been asked, and I think it's actually something really cool to talk about. I'm also going to touch up on that topic in the review part because there's actually something that I forgot to mention during the makeup application, but the main part of that topic I'm going to deal with during the makeup application. So if you don't know my videos, I'm going to, of course, do this look on camera in just a second. You're going to see the swatches of the palette, and you're going to see the other looks that I have done with the palette. There are 2 more coming in pictures, and then at the end of the video I'm going to meet you here for the review part. So without further ado, let's go right into it. Okay, sweeties, here we are, of course, doing a look, and today I want to try actually something. I want to try to do a certain layering of the shadows because I have a feeling that that is going to go well, but I hope so. I don't know, so we shall see. Okay, sweeties, beyond that, I also want to talk to you about something that actually has been requested. Oh, this is the eyeshadow primer that I'm using from Anastasia Beverly Hills. Okay, I'm always trying, just so you know, I'm always trying in my reviews to also use different eyeshadow primers, in the different looks within that palette. I'm using different eyeshadow primers usually because I want to know what works. Okay, I usually forget to tell you though, so just so you know. Okay, sweeties, let me just dab out the creasing and let us start talking about that topic. So one of you, was it on Instagram? I don't know anymore. One of you actually contacted me and said, could you maybe do a video about your whole filming setup and everything you need for YouTube? And let me go in with the first shade, which is the shade In the Dark, the darkest shade of the palette. And I kind of really want to have that here. I don't know. It is a super dark blue, but it could also, actually in the pan, it also could lean a little bit towards a purple. Here I think it absolutely looks blue, but in the palette, next to, when you see it next to this one, you could kind of, well, on camera probably not, but here in my lighting, it is a very cool shade, So let me just put this on. And I'm also going to try to push it in the inner corner. Honestly, I have not really a whole understanding of what I'm doing here, just so you know. Okay, because this this is how my life is right now. All right, so there was this request that I should talk about, you know, my whole setup here, and I also show it. Maybe that would be great, but I cannot do that, sweeties, because if you know me a little bit already, then you know that I'm filming in a storage room, and only this corner here that you see is actually nice. Everything else is storage boxes. There is a big fridge, there is a lot of supplies of all kinds of stuff. It's not nice. It's not a filming room, it's a basement room where I have a corner. That is it, you know. So I would be very, very embarrassed to film this for you, so I'm not gonna do that. Let me just go in with another shade, just debating which brush, and I think now I want to go in with this blue and place it in between, you know, like here on this strip. So let us go in. That is the Paranormal shade, and I'm just going to place this here. So this is going to be a dark look, obviously. So so what I'm going to do though is I'm going to talk about what you need to do a channel, you know, because this person, I do believe, asked me, what do I need to do a channel? Like, can you do a video about this? Because can you show us? All right, it is actually very, very little that you need. When I think back, my first videos I did in our living room, which is horrible because the acoustics are really, really bad. It is, it's not a super huge room, but it's very high. We have a high skylight because of the staircase, and it was not smart. It was not smart, but back then that was really the only place that I could come up with. I didn't have this space down here yet. I basically created this space for me then a couple months later, or maybe weeks later, because I felt that this is not working, you know. This is cool. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the gray shade, which is Shadows. I have not used this one yet. That's this one, and I want to kind of place this all around and blend it out. So wish me luck. Okay, so that was that, you know, but I started my channel there because that's all I had, and I think that is kind of the whole philosophy. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Just do it. Just start it, you know. The only thing I think that you really need to know about yourself and about your channel is the theme of your channel, and beyond that you just need some kind of a camera, and if you're good then you have a microphone. If not, you will also manage without a microphone. Now that is basically the only thing I bought in the very beginning. I had my phone already, so I bought a microphone, and honestly I'm still filming with that same microphone. I'm going to show you that one because it is a clip-on microphone. You're probably going to hear that I'm moving this around now, and that is a clip-on microphone like this. You know, I'm not this kind of YouTuber who has like a super amazing freestanding microphone here. No, I have a clip-on microphone which is like super, super tiny, and I have that plugged into my camera, of course, and it is basically here clipped on to my makeup mirror, you know, and this is what I have for the last 5 years. This is what has been serving me. So you don't need to go super fancy, you know. I only had my phone and I had this microphone, and that was it. That's it. Then of course you have to do some research, because I don't know about which apps you need right now for making YouTube videos. There are apps, of course, that are for free, but then you have a watermark on them, but you also can of course have the paid version and not have the watermark, and that is what I did then, because I also filmed with my phone and also edited, of course, with my phone. There are also, if in case you want to do that, not everybody wants to do that, but in case you want to do that, there are also apps to make thumbnails, you know. So I did everything with my phone for the first almost a year, because also you don't know if this is just a passing phase. You do not want to invest too much from the beginning and then find out, boy, you know what, this is not for me, this is not taking off, it's not going the way I expected it to be, I'm not YouTube famous yet, so too bad, let's shut down the channel, or let's just like step away from it and whatever. You know, things will most probably not explode. in a positive way, you will probably not get YouTube famous super fast. So I think it is very smart to not from the get-go invest a whole lot of money, because really a lot of my YouTube friends who have started out with high hopes and with, I don't know, all of these, you know, beautiful ideas and whatever, are not here anymore. They're not uploading anymore because, you know, they have stopped. They have lost the passion, they've lost the patience. And I need another brush. Where has it gone? Here. All right, so that is, you know, I think if you then have invested in a whole studio setup, then that is just so wasteful. So I would recommend for you to just start with your phone or with your laptop or tablet or whatever, and just film with that and see how it goes, you know. I'm going to go in with my bone color matte, and I'm just gonna set this surface here a little bit for blending purposes. All right, so basically that is what it was. Now the next thing I invested in a couple months after I had started my channel was a backdrop. It's not this one anymore, because in the very beginning I had one that I got from a local photographer who was retiring, and I bought it very cheap from him, and that was like a yellowy kind of a marble. I don't know, it looked horrible, honestly. And also, of course, because I didn't have a ring light, the lighting was also really horrible. And in this setting down here in my basement room, I do not have any natural lighting. So the combination of everything was really bad. It was so bad. But listen, you know, you do what you do, and it kind of has a way of working its way. There is a cat outside fighting or something. So if you hear some screaming, it's the cat outside. All right, so you know, things work themselves out, and but you have to start somewhere, you know. I just didn't want to have the wall right behind me to it's not pretty, you know. And this, what you're seeing here now, is also not the wall. It is also, this is now an official white backdrop that you have for photo shoots, that you can roll down, and it's like a big roll on the top, and then you can pull it down. This is what this is, you know. And we bought that then maybe much later, much later. So yeah, so basically I started with very little, and I think that was good, because I didn't know, was I gonna be able to keep going, you know. Now the other thing that I then at some point bought was the camera, but only because my phone was shutting down. You know, my phone could not in long term handle the immense load of data, basically, to, you know, to like upload and film and all of that. It's a lot on a phone, you know. And back then when I started, which is now almost 5 years ago, the quality of the phones also was not like now, you know. So but it worked and it was fine. But at some point I noticed then this is not going to work for much longer anymore, and I thought that I'm going to have to shut down my channel. But then my husband surprised me and said, okay, so let's go and buy you a real YouTuber camera. And that is really also when then my real confidence basically started to grow, when I felt like, boy, this feels so cool to sit in front of a real camera instead of a phone. And yeah. But that is it. But even bigger YouTubers, bigger than me, are still filming from their from their phone, because they prefer that. You know, the thing is though, that with a phone you have to be a little bit careful where you look, because if you look at the display where you see yourself, you will probably then come across in the video as looking towards the side, because usually the camera is in one corner, you know, so you have to look at that corner. And I actually, when I had my phone in front of me, I had a, what is it called, a sticky note, you know, a sticky note with an arrow to the camera to remind me to look in the camera and not on the display, because it's super like, you want to look at the display, you want to see, are you in focus, you know. It's just so much nicer to talk to a picture than to talk to a hole, basically, you know, to talk to a lens. But you have to train yourself to do that, because it looks really silly if you basically come across like you're not talking to your audience, you're talking towards the side, you know. That is something that I just really would would recommend to you. Okay, now I want to go in with which of those two shimmer shades. Let's see. This one is the shade Illusion, and this one is the shade Numinous. Okay, Illusion has a bit of a blue hint, and Numinous actually also, but I think it is more white. I think I'm gonna go in with the first one, with Illusion. Let me just wipe my other finger. And I'm just going to place this here, because this is what I noticed in my first look, that you can really nicely layer them and transform the shades beyond, like underneath, beyond. Yeah, okay. And this is what I was trying to achieve with this look, to just see and for myself, and then of course also show you that this is what you can do. Wow, this is so pretty. Do you see that this is pretty? I hope you do. Really, really cool, because it is, you know, you do have only two shimmers in this palette, and they are they're very similar, really, you know, but in especially this shade that I'm using right now, you do have aspects of basically all of those mattes in the palette in it, like characteristics, and I think this is the shade to use in order to just transform what is underneath, and I think this looks spectacular. You know, it is a dark look. Well, it's the In the Dark collection, so it's gotta be dark, but yeah. So this is really, really cool. All right, so what did I do? I want to go in with the same shade and just try to maybe place it a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more up into the crease, and maybe a tiny little bit above. So I'm just like slightly pressing it in place, but this is basically more or less how it's gonna look. Yeah, okay, so that is what it is. You know, I got my camera then at some point, something like 9 months after I had started my channel, for my husband, and then one of my besties, back then she was my only bestie that I had, and she actually kind of donated or sponsored a ring light for me, and that is then, you know, how it started to go from there, and then we of course bought the backdrop and things, but that was only once I realized that this is what I want to do. And sweeties, even now I have days where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. You know, because really the gain is not that much, and be aware of that. Be aware of that you're not starting out to think, because I did that mistake. Don't start out thinking that you can have an income through YouTube. Those days are over, sweeties. Do it because you like to do it for the passion of it, do it because you need it for, I don't know, as a hobby, for personal growth, I don't know, something like that. But don't do it because you think you can support your family. You will have to be really, really big in order to be able to do that. And plus, you know, now I can basically spend the money that I'm earning on YouTube is enough to buy like 2 or 3 packages of diapers. Now, with the amount of subscribers that I have, which is just 5K right now, I'm just saying it because you might see this later at some point. So, and also with the videos that I'm uploading, with the views that I'm having, and all of that, you know, it's not a lot. You will not be able to live off this unless you're getting much, much bigger. And maybe you will, but most likely we all won't. You know, so just so you know, because I had this illusion that I can work from home and support the family. It's a dream. It's a dream. It would be wonderful. I wish it was that way, but I don't think that it happens for a lot of people. And if you need a job like right now, then don't think that this is going to help you now. You know, you will probably first of all invest way more than you're getting out of it. And even for me now, it is still the case. I'm still investing way more that I'm getting out of it. So just so you know that that is the case, and you're not going in with an illusion, because that could be then that thing that breaks you after a couple of months when you're still at like 25 subscribers and you think, wow, I'm never going to get monetized and I'm never going to have this and that and the other thing. You know, don't do it for the money, because don't, you know, do it because you love what you're doing, because there is a certain thing that you want to share, that you want to teach, that you want to talk about, and if that is where you're coming from, then I think you're going to have a lot of fun, because seriously, it is just so beautiful to like also be in touch with the people who are watching you, and then suddenly realize, wow, there is a person in Hawaii that is watching me, that is waiting for my videos, and I was like, what, you know, that is a really cool thing, a really amazing experience, and I wouldn't miss it for the world, you know. It is a beautiful thing, but again, don't do it for the money. You know. All right, so I'm going to finish this look. You're going to of course see this palette swatched out, you're going to see the other looks, and in just a second we're going to meet here for the review part, so stay tuned. Okay, sweeties, welcome to the review part. You have of course seen now the swatches and also the other two looks, and I tried, maybe you also noticed, I tried to go in like completely different directions with the three looks, including this one today, just to show you the versatility of a palette, even though the theme is so dark, and you know, it's kind of limited because it is a small palette, but and also of course because of the color scheme is being not necessarily one-dimensional, but it is within like a tight topic, you know, it's a dark theme, and that can be very limiting, but I think you saw that there's actually a lot you can do. Plus, I also want to say, and I'm going to touch up on that later, that today you also saw that you can layer those shades super nicely, and of course create more shadows. Okay, before we talk about all of that, I'm going to zoom you in and let you take a closer look, because of course the lower lash line I finished off camera. All right, sweeties, I do have a very dark green on my lower waterline, and then I'm going to talk to you about how I finished the look. All right, so in my inner corner, I already told you in the intro that I do have this highlighter. I'm not wearing it here today because I wanted to have a purple highlighter, so I'm wearing the Halloween Magic highlighter from CXC Cosmetics, but in the other two looks, I actually wore this highlighter in the ones that you just saw in pictures, okay? But today I'm wearing it in the inner corner, and I hope that you can also see the green hint to this highlighter, and it's actually really pretty. Also, this one you can layer super nicely on top of the other matte shades, and just, you know, have more shades available for yourself. Okay, so I have a very dark green on my waterline, and then I just put this shade here right under my lashes, you know, and blended it out because that was the only shade that I had not worked with yet. So that is that. For a liner, for my winged liner, I actually used a black gel liner, and then I just pushed some loose glitter on top, some purple loose glitter, and that is basically how I finished the look. All right, sweeties, so that is that. I also should maybe talk about this one. Of course, this is a lip gloss, and maybe you know that lip gloss is not too much my thing, even though this color is spectacular and absolutely my thing. It's just that lip glosses tend to bleed on me, and also I kind of feel like if I'm already putting something on my lips, I like it to be more opaque and to actually then have this color, because usually when you have lip glosses, of course the color that you're getting on your lips is then much thinner, right? So I have to be completely honest, I did put a lip liner underneath because I wanted to have a little bit more color impact, but of course I really like the shine and everything. I'm totally into that, and as of right now it's also not bleeding, so I'm keeping hopeful. All right, sweeties, so that is basically that. Now let us talk about the palette. You have of course cardboard packaging also here, and of course also here with the highlighter. You have this super cool mystical theme of the, what is it, an abbey or a cathedral or something. And then you do have the palette with 8 shades with shade names. You do have a mirror, you do have a magnetic closure, and you do have of course the ingredients on the back of the palette. Okay, now you do have 6 mattes, and you do have 2 shimmers, this one and this one. Now they look a little bit similar, and also in the swatches they look a little bit similar. I don't know if maybe one could have gone in a different way a little bit, but the thing is, and I already kind of touched up on that, that you can layer, especially this one, so beautifully over all of the mattes, because this one, I don't know if it is really clear, if you can see it, that it has like flecks of each of the shades, basically each of the other shades in it. You know, it has characteristics of each of the mattes in it. So basically when you layer it on top of whatever other shade, you're getting a slightly different shade, you know, and that is really nice. And I do believe that you can do it with this one just as well. This is more leaning towards a white, but it does have a bit of a bluish hint to it. So it is like, it's definitely cool, you know? So this is what you're getting. I think color scheme wise, this is brilliant. It is beautiful. Of course, if you work with this, you cannot be scared of dark shadows, you know, that's for sure. You can of course always pull in something else. I only exclusively, when I'm working with a palette, I'm only pulling in my bone color matte. Beyond that, I'm not pulling in other palettes, because I feel like when I'm featuring something, I want it to be that product and that product only. So that's what I did, but I think the performance was actually really good. During the swatching, I have to say that they did not swatch so well. I had to build them up quite a bit, but the pigmentation on the eye, I think, was really solid. There was no creasing. I don't think there was any staining. When I did my second look with these 2 shades here, I didn't experience any staining, so that was fine. Yeah, no separation, no nothing. The wearability and the durability of the shadows is really good. Now also, when you apply those shimmer shades with a brush, they sometimes feel a little bit crumbly, but when applied with a flat brush that is not too fluffy, or when applied with the finger, I think that is the best way to apply them. Actually, the finger, I think, is the best way to apply them, but that is just me, you know, it depends what your preference is, but that is what it is. So these shadows, these shimmer shades, are not like super foiled or metallic, but they have like something magical about them, something transformative, which is really cool, you know? So that is what you're getting here, and I hope this was helpful for you, because I really enjoyed this. I like dark palettes, and especially now during the winter, I'm very drawn to these palettes, and I'm so glad that I got to try this collection. Okay, before I forget, I also do have a code with Alien Cosmetics or Unearthly Cosmetics. You will find all my discount codes that I have with different brands, of course, down in the description box, and it is also clearly marked which ones are affiliated and which ones are not. All right, then I also quickly wanted to still touch up on the topic that we spoke about in the makeup application part of the video. So I had basically told you, don't invest too much. Just see, first of all, if this is your thing, if you want to stick with it, because you gotta have to be in this for the long run, because it happens to like 0.001% of all YouTubers that they become famous really fast. And especially if you are wanting to put up a makeup channel or something, they're not that in anymore. They're not that watched anymore. I think now gaming is really big, and I guess vlogging and things like this, but beauty content, I think the time for beauty content is not, I don't want to say it's over, because that would just be sad, because why, you know, I think there's always a need for beauty content, at least in my world, but you know, don't invest too much. This is my advice. Do whatever you want, of course, but I would advise you to not invest too much until you know that this is your thing, and it's not just like you want to try it and see how it goes and then move on to something else, because in that case it would be a shame to invest in ring lights and in everything, and then you have that stuff and it just makes you feel guilty to look at it every single time after you've shut down your channel, you know? So as of right now, I don't even have softboxes yet, you know? Every self-respecting YouTuber has softboxes, but I have mine on the way. Finally, after almost 5 years, I'm going to get softboxes that actually have been gifted to me by one of my besties. Sorry, garbage is being picked up outside. This is like perfect, you know? So you hear probably you hear it. So in any case, let's just ignore that. So I have one of my besties is actually gifting me soft boxes, and I'm so happy because it kind of feels like now is the time, you know. I kind of proved myself here, and now I've just reached 5K. So this is kind of a milestone also here on YouTube, and I feel like now is the time, you know. So up until now, I have had my ring lights. I have a little bit of background lighting because it just gives a nicer atmosphere. But really, what the only thing you need is a room where you can film without being constantly interrupted. Now, of course, garbage pickup and stuff like this is out of your control, but you know, a lot of YouTubers, and also a lot of YouTubers that have made it really far. Just think Smoky Glow. She, for the longest time, she was just sitting on her bed or on her at her desk in her room with the bed in the background. You know, it's like it doesn't have to be perfect. Also for me, it really doesn't have to be perfect. It's just because I have a very large family, and if I don't have a room that is just for myself, people will come and take stuff and ruin stuff, you know, because my kids are still very small and they're very curious about all of these things. So I have to keep my space away from them, otherwise my space will not exist. But in like other people's lives, just have a room where you do other stuff. Maybe your living room, maybe your, I don't know what, you know. You do not need to have a filming room or a studio or something like this. So it really depends on your life. I'm just saying, just film and see how it goes, and see how your camera presence is, and work on stuff like that before you invest too much. And then if you're feeling like there is a response, you're getting feedback, people start to subscribe and all of that, then invest more into it. That is my advice. Of course, if you're doing beauty content, you kind of need a desk and things like this, but that's, you know, you figure that out by yourself. But yeah, so that is basically my advice, and I'm so grateful for the blessings. When I'm looking at my setup here, I see 3 ring lights. I do have my camera, of course, opposite me, and I know that this is all the blessings, you know, that have come into my life that I did not think I would have at the beginning of my channel when I filmed with my phone, you know. So yeah, that is that. But it is a journey, and it doesn't come from nothing, you know. It is a lot of work. You're putting a lot of yourself into this if you're serious about it, but I think you're also getting a lot back. Sometimes it is not what you thought you would get, you know. If like I thought that I would be able to support my family with this, I cannot, absolutely not, you know. So that is, if you're going in with that thought, then you will be disappointed on the way. And I've been disappointed a lot, and I've been wanting to shut this place down a lot. But at the end of the day, I still knew that this is my place, and that's why I didn't shut it down, because this is still my happy place. This is the only place in my life that I have for myself, because the second I step out of this room, I'm going to be mommy, you know, and I'm going to be not this, you know, because I'm only here, I am for myself. I'm only Leorah. Outside of this room, I'm the mother of, I'm the wife of, I'm the daughter of, you know. But here I'm just me. I'm Leorah, makeup artist and stylist, living for colorful makeup and colorful styling, you know? So it is kind of, you have to figure out for yourself what it is that you stand for, what it is you want to bring to the platform and all of that. And then just take one step at a time. And if you run out of steam, then you run out of steam, and then it basically was just not your place. But if you do, and if you keep pushing and stuff, then things will start to happen. And sometimes you just need to have a lot of patience, you know. But it is what it is. This is how life is, and sometimes miracles happen, but most of the time it's just really hard work, and that's just reality check, you know. All right, sweeties, I hope this was helpful. Of course, feel always free to let me know what you think down in the comments, and also contact me on social media if you want to. And if you have ideas for me to, like, stuff to talk about during my videos, what you would be interested in, feel free to do so. And beyond that, if you have just found me and this is your first video and you have not subscribed yet, then please do so right now. This is the last chance for this video. Beyond that, check out my description box. All of my today's makeup is there, all my discount codes, all my links to social media and ways to support my channel. And I shall see you here super soon for my next video. And up until then, definitely go ahead and sparkle. Hugs and kisses. Bye.